Fuck, I'm so bad at this game. Yo, chill, what are you doing, bro? Yo, who is this, bro?
Yo, stop.
Yo, what are you doing?
Nothing.
What are you doing?
Nothing.
That guy's trash.
Nothing, bro. We have the double diagonals here. We have this line. I mean, we have literally checkmate at 20 here. I don't think you see it here. The rook comes here. The rook comes over here. We have king move and pre-move. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that's.
Dude, I missed that one.
Yeah, you're so stupid, man. You should just learn to be like me.
Shit.
I mean, this is 600, but I think this is like 612 like in the world. Like not 612 ELA. Like I'm 612 in the world.
Word?
Yeah.
About to go play. Not even sure if I'm allowed to record, but we're gonna see what happens. And I'm gonna be playing some 1-3 with my boy, Andy.
Here. Hello.
Shut up, you dumbass. Alright, so welcome to vlog number 3. So for the first hand, we're playing 1-3, and we're dealt ace deuce of diamonds and decide to just limp. Because according to Daniel Negreanu,
Do you raise? Fold's fine. Do you raise? That's fine. Do you limp? Does anybody? Should you? Shouldn't you? I did.
limping is pimping. There are 2 more limps until the small blind makes it $15. The big blind calls, I call, and the button calls. So we're going 4 ways to a 5-4-3 flop with 2 clubs and a diamond. So we flop the low end of the straight, which is technically the third nuts, but if someone has 5-6 or 6 deuce, kudos to them and they could take my money as they please. I decided to bet out for $25 when checked to me, and only the initial raiser and the small blind calls. The turn is another 3, which I suppose could bring in some full houses that beat my straight, but I don't think I could ever fold my hand given that he has less than $100 left in his stack. I decided to bet out for $45 and he calls once again. The river is the 9 of clubs and he just goes all in for the remaining of his stack, which is like $30, and I obviously just call. He had king 6 of diamonds for king high, so yeah, an interesting one to start things off to say the least. Moving on to the next hand, it folds to me on the button and I look down at ace 10 offsuit. I bump things up to $12 and both of the blinds call. So we're going 3 ways to a flop that comes 2, 3, 4. I thought that if I bet here, only better hands would call me, so I decided to check and just see a free turn card. It checks all around, and the turn is a 5. When the small blind decides to lead up for $20, we make the call with our straight, but there's still caution because he still could have a 6. The river comes another 4, and when he leads out for the remaining of his $50, I call, and he actually just shows pocket 8s. So we win 2 hands in a row, both with the wheel. Nice way to start things off. Nice river? Next river?
Nice river.
River? What'd the river do? You're trolling me. There's an early position limp, and then a raise to $13 from the hijack. The button and the small blind both call, and I just call with pocket 9s in the big blind. The limper also calls, so we're going 6 ways to a flop that comes ace 9-5 rainbow. So we flop middle set on an ace high board, and when he checks to the initial raiser, he bets out tiny, to the tune of $10. Even though the board is monotone and pretty dry, I have to put in a raise here when folded to me, so I make it $35. He calls and the turn is a deuce of diamonds. When I bet out again for $80, he just quickly folds, which means he probably didn't have much to begin with, so yeah, moving on. I had some friends playing 2-5, and they said the game was really good, so at this point in the session I decided to take my winnings from the 1-3 game and move to 2-5. So I won about $290, so I went over with a $700 stack. The literal first hand we're dealt, we got pocket kings under the gun and raised things up to $20. The +1 calls, the button calls, and the small blind call before the big blind makes it $80. His 3-bet sizing is actually quite small, which I actually thought meant his hand wasn't too strong and was just trying to steal the pot. Well, this is a mandatory 4-bet spot, especially with all the dead money out there. I wanted to make it a size that he would have to call with almost his entire range, so I made it $205.
I got bluffed there.
205?
205.
I probably could have made it a bit larger, but 2.5x seems pretty fine. Well, it folds around to him and he calls. So the flop comes down to ace, ace 7, and in my eyes, 1 ace is bad, but 2 is pretty good. On a board texture like this, I'm either way ahead or way behind. He could have trips, but he could also have a wide range of hands that includes underpairs or just whiffed broadways. Since the SPR is only about 1, this is a 2-street hand anyway, so I decided to check back the flop when checked to me. The turn's an offsuit 5, and I decided to bet small to target those smaller pocket pairs and set up a river jam. I bet up for 125, and he just quickly folds, so my read pre-flop was correct, and I think I made the max on this hand, but let me know what you guys think. Sorry, Yi.
No.
I'm sorry, Yi. Here you go. So this next hand, there's a limp in the cutoff before the small blind makes it $30. I call and the cutoff folds. The flop comes down queen 9-6 with 2 diamonds, and he quickly checks, so I check back. The turn's a 5 of diamonds, giving us a pair, but also bringing in the front door flush draw. He checks again rather quickly, and I decide to check back with my showdown value. The river comes the 7 of diamonds, and when he instantly checks again, he seems pretty done with the hand. With 4 diamonds on the board and him seemingly checked out, I like to bet out for $45 to potentially fold out any random low diamond or pair slightly better than mine. But realistically, he probably just had some sort of random ace high holding with no diamond that whiffed a flop. Not sure if it was necessary turning our hand into a bluff, but yeah, that's what I did. He ended up folding and we take it down. Moving on. Okay, there's 2 limps before a middle position player makes it $25. I call to his left with Jack 10 of clubs, the big blind calls and both limpers call. So we're going 4 ways to a Jack 10-7 flop with all diamonds. So we flop top 2 on a wet and connected monotone flop. All flushes beat us, 8-9 beats us for a straight as well. When the initial raiser bets out for $50, I'm obviously going nowhere and I make the call, and pretty glad to see that everyone else folds. This player's been playing almost every hand and showing up with quite questionable holdings, so I'm happy to put in more money against him. Well, there's no more need for worries when the turn comes to Jack of clubs. We smash it turning top boat. He actually slows down and checks it over. With only around 325 in his stack, I thought I could pick a small sizing to be able to price him into a call on the river regardless of what card comes out. Ultimately, I chose to bet out for $115. He surprisingly jams all in for 200 more. Obviously a snap call, and the river comes a king. I show him my full house and I'm good. He actually shows queen 9 offsuit without a diamond. So I'm not sure how he did, but we managed to get the max against this guy with an open-ended straight draw and no diamond. Well, works for me.
Let's go.
With an open-ended.
Here you go, bud.
Thank you. I told you.
Thank you.
Hey, appreciate you, man. Hey, appreciate you, brother.
So this last hand I played, I definitely botched and made the minimum, but we're here to learn, so here it is. There's a $10 button straddle, a limp for $10 in the cutoff, and I have ace-5 of hearts in the small blind. I make it $40. The straddler and the cutoff both call, so we're going 3 ways to an ace-king 5 flop with 2 spades. I flopped 2 pair, and my first mistake was checking this flop. I think it's bad because we should be betting here a lot with our draws and value hands, and there's still so many hand classes that could call us, such as top pairs, straight draws, flush draws, etc. Also, checking doesn't do anything unless I wanted to set up a check raise, which just seems so strong, and would probably scare away all the marginal hands that we want to get value from. But I decided to check, and the straddler bets out for $80. The cutoff folds, I ended up just calling, and we go heads up to a 7 of clubs turn, now bringing in a second flush draw. I wonder if there's any merit in leading out on this turn. The line seems so odd, but I think it'll just go check way too often. This is the problem about giving up the betting lead on the flop. I felt like I had to check, so I ended up doing that, and she checked it right back. The river is probably the worst card in the deck when it comes to 6 of spades, bringing in some straight draws and the front door flush draw. The river ended up going check as well, and she showed down ace-10 of diamonds. I probably could have gotten 2 streets of value if I just c-bet on the flop and continued on the turn, but yeah, you live and you learn.
Fuck, I'm so bad at this game.
Button is good.
I didn't even feel good about the river. I think I just played the hand really bad.
Yeah, played some 1-3 and then moved to 2-5 and ran really hot. So at this point, my friend wanted to leave, so I guess it was time to rack it up.
It was good. How fuck is it?
Weird.
Won $50.
Yo, at least you didn't lose $15.
Sure.
Just got done playing. I just took my stack, which was like, I think I made like around 290 in 1-3. And then I played 2-5 for after about like 3 hours or so. And then I decided to go to play 2-5. Yeah, and then I think I won like another like $700 playing 2-5 in like 2 hours. Yeah, so I was in for 400 total, and then I was out for around 1475. So I made about 1075 after about 5 hours, and yeah, it's a pretty good session. Had a good time, good vibes, good to play with my friend who's trolling. You're trolling. Yo, is that Osu? Yo, you're exposed, bro. Chill. All right, see you guys next time.